says display him,
Right.
but I don't need to display him
Okay.
technically. So there's really nothing to display.
Okay. He just needs to be able to hear.
Correct.
Is the door below?
Something upstairs might be a PlayStation machine that's jacked up.
I'll look real quick. Or maybe with the 3D printer going. I didn't think about that.
Mm.
It
It's
does
something.
kinda sound like a printer now that you mention it.
Mhm.
It does.
The copy machine.
Oh, it is?
Those parts are on.
Not late at all.
Nope. Meet and greet already?
Yeah.
I'll get you
Zip, zip, zip.
efficient.
As fast as I could.
Third grade? Fourth?
Fourth grade.
Really?
Fourth
Wow.
grade and first grade.
It's kind of nice to not have a big audience. Call the 8:11 board meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There being no objection, Chad Thompson will serve as secretary this evening. Roll call.
Me, yes, I'm here. Desha?
Yes.
Brandon?
He's not on there yet.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew? Yes. Jill?
Yes.
James well.
Okay. The first item on the agenda is the financial report.
So I'll apologize first. The financial visuals are not available at this time because we're loading the budget into the new software. So I just had to give you what my report normally looks like. I'm sorry. It'll be in the next month, and I'll add this month on it so that you can see that. So looking at fund balance, we're showing a 14.06% decrease over last year with a net fund balance of $17,698,891.90. Looking at the operating funds, we're showing a 13.65% decrease over last year with a net total of $16,440,681.27. Revenues in the Ed Fund, local revenue, we've received $307,252.12. State revenue in the Ed Fund, we've received $167,066.08. Federal revenue, we've received $171,313.02. Recommendation is to reimburse the Imprest account in the amount of $441, and then the payment of bills in the amount of $1,066,342.52. This is a bigger month because we had all the summer ordering on this.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Brandon's with us now too.
Oh.
Okay.
What is this, does this mean that we have to start scaling back to about that amount,
Yes, so,
about 13%.
yeah, so we'll talk about the budget in a little bit, but, we're scaling back on all expenses, across the board. So, this month does have all of the summer purchasing, so this is a larger month as far as like getting the school open. So the bills won't normally be this expensive.
Okay, are there any other questions? At this time, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the financial report to reimburse the impressed account in the amount of $441 and the payment of bills in the amount of $1,066,342.52.
Motion.
Motion by Andrew,
Second?
second by Erica. Roll call.
Desha?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yeah.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Jamie? Chad? Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is the consent agenda. In closed there, you'll have minutes from the last regular board meeting and the closed session minutes from July 21st. Fundraisers, the fundraiser list is attached. Most of those items are concession stand items at the junior high, in addition to the cookie dough and pizza fundraiser that they have every year. And that is it for the consent agenda. Does anyone have any questions? There being none, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda.
Motion?
Motion by Erica,
Second.
second by Chad. Roll call.
Brandon?
Yeah.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew? Yes. Jill?
Yes.
Chad? Yes. Desha?
Yes.
We have two pieces of correspondence, one from Darlene Coffin and one from Melissa Habing. Both are sympathy notes, and I will pass those around for you to look at. Next on the agenda is new business. The first item is the intergovernmental agreement with the Effingham Library. Oh, did I go? No.
That's- You're right.
I'm right? We've got on two sides.
Yeah,
Sorry,
sorry.
guys. I'm used to one-sided copies. We're scaling back and saving paper.
Absolutely. So this item's just something that's annually that we do. There's no action. You can just read it as is.
Okay. There's no action on this. This IGA provides a benefit to almost 60% of our employees who live in a location without a public library access and thus do not have a library card. And this will be year 4 with this intergovernmental agreement between the library and Unit 40 schools. So we thank them for that. The next item on the agenda is the final reading and approval to adopt press policy updates. Those items are, well, I'll just go ahead. Does anyone have any comments or questions about those policy updates? And there being none, I'm looking for a motion and a second to adopt the following board policies. It's 110, 120, 130, 210, 280, 2130, 240, 330, 450, 455, 4180, 740, 790, 7130, 7140, 7300, 7325, and lastly 880. Do I have that motion?
Motion?
Motion by Erica, second by Desha. Roll call.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew? Yes. Jill?
Yes.
Chad? Yes. Desha?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yeah.
Okay, next on the agenda is the FY26 tentative budget, and I'll turn that over to Mrs. Baker and Mr. Johnson.
So the tentative budget is in your packet. This is tentative because at the time when I built it, I did not have PPRT numbers. And so it could change between this month and next month because we now know what our revenue will be. So I do plan to update that for you. I built this budget after I met with all administrators and directors to figure out what the need is for the next year. And then Mr. Johnson and I have discussed cutting all areas 10% or more. So I will note that in the ed fund, we are showing a deficit, even with this budget, of $730,975. This is due to increased operating costs, textbook adoption, and this was just a step increase for certified and non-certified because we're negotiating their contracts, so we don't know their raises yet. Which would put the ending fund balance at $9,308,719. That's if we expense out every line. We don't do that. We're very cautious and conservative. In O&M, we would show a gain of $370,346. We did have the in-tech control update, so that contributed to some of the expense. But the ending fund balance would, if we expensed out all lines, would be $1,393,553. Transportation, we're showing a gain of $227,618. That is with the purchase of 9 buses that we ordered 2 years ago. So we do anticipate those to be delivered in January. So we're already on the hook for those buses. So we do plan to buy those. So that would put the transportation ending fund balance at $4,373,902. And then at the end, after you balance all of it, we're showing a gain of about $500,000 if we expense everything. If we expense everything out. We've built in contingencies. Things happen. So anyway, the budget will be out for 30 days and people can come review it. And then I do plan to make some changes before the next board meeting and I'll highlight those.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Do you have anything to add to that? Nope.
Nope, other than the fact that I think we're very cautious. I did look up at this point right now. I know, Chad, we've spoken multiple times since I've worked here in regard to number of staff. Staff last year I had on the books, rough number of 440 that worked for us. This year, we're going into this year right now, we're at 421. So it's 19 staff members less. I told you all that, again, we're going to try to shave back in areas and we will continue to probably look at doing that.
Okay. I'm looking for a motion, a second, to approve the FY26 tentative budget resolution. Motion by Chad.
Second.
Second by, what's her name? Andrew Altman. I just had a really bad brain freeze. Roll call, please. Thank you. Yes.
Chad, yes. Desha?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
I'm showing my age. I apologize. Next on the agenda is the approval of the IASB governing board representative for Unit 40. So we send a representative to the School Board Association. This representative alerts members regarding events and encouraging participation. They carry the district concerns to the division meetings and leadership, and they report division meeting activity and actions to the board. For the last several years, Jane has been our representative, and I wasn't aware that she would be here this evening.
She said yes.
I'm sure she would.
So, do we table this or we just go ahead and
No,
vote
I
her?
think you gotta
Okay.
put her in there.
Okay. So, I'm open to accepting nominations at this time.
I'll nominate Jane.
Okay. Do we have a second to nominate Jane? There's been nominations for Jane to represent us. I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve. Well, we have the motion and a second, but to approve Jane to represent the Effingham Unit 40, District 40 at the IASB Governing Board for the 25-26 school year.
Motion.
Motion by Chad,
Second?
Second by Erica. Roll call.
Jill?
Yes.
Chad, yes. Desha?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew? Yes.
Next item on the agenda is the approval of board committees and board members serving on those committees. The dates and times will be released soon. In the past, we've had 4 committees: the Facilities and Transportation, Curriculum, HR Athletics, and Technology. And we haven't switched those up unless you have some interest in moving on committees. But there's been a mention also of dropping the Technology Committee.
We talked about that, I believe, a few months ago, but if you want to keep it, we can keep it.
So would that be a separate motion and second to drop the Technology and then
Probably just approve the ones.
And
we
they're
already
just, okay. Does anyone have any concerns about dropping Technology as a committee? I mean-
Yeah, we can still address everything
Mhm.
from board level,
Correct.
just bring the information.
We'll keep you in the loop on it. And
Okay.
probably have Stephanie slide in here on occasions to give you some updates.
That would be wonderful. Okay, so having said that, are there any other questions or concerns? The committees will be as follows: Facilities and Transportation, and we'll have Jane and Desha serve on that committee with Chad as an alternate. Curriculum will be myself and Andrew with Jane as an alternate, and HR Athletics with Chad and Brandon with Erica as an alternate. If that's okay with everyone, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the committees and board members to serve on each committee for the 25-26 and 26-27 school years as listed above. Motion by Andrew. Second by Chad. Roll call.
Chad, yes. Desha?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew? Yes. Jill?
Yes. Next on the agenda is,
Hold on a second
oh,
before you move on there, just food for thought from your standpoint. How many times would you like to meet a year? I was going to suggest 3. If you want 4, I can set 4 up. I would like to get those established in the next couple of weeks with you for the year, so they're not pop-up meetings like we've done to you in the past. And I apologize for that, but try to get them on the books so you know. Is 3 enough? Or do you think 4?
I mean, I think it depends on what's going on at the time.
right.
Skip
I mean-
the books, if we need more, we can, yeah.
Will do.
I would say the probably HR Athletics is a more fluid one, maybe.
Not time.
Well,
any of them
and,
can be.
but yeah, true. So 3 and
Yeah,
then
facilities is going
add
to
as needed.
be pretty important here coming up in the
True.
next couple of months. So
Right.
let's go 3, and then if we need them, you tell me after that, and we'll go with some more. Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is the hazardous bus routes resolution approval. It's an annual approval sought from the board. There's no changes from the 25-26 resolution. Do you have anything to add to that? Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the hazardous route resolution for the 25-26 school year. Motion by Andrew,
Second.
second by Chad. Roll call.
Chad, yes. Desha?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew? Yes. Jill?
Yes. Next on the agenda is to approve the treasurer bond agreement. I don't really have any details here.
It's
What-
just an annual renewal.
Okay,
So there's an increase of, about $75 from last year, so.
oh, okay. It's in your packet. I apologize for that.
It's an attachment.
Okay, it's an attachment in your packet. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the treasurer bond agreement.
Motion.
Motion by Erica. Second by Desha. Roll call.
Desha? Brandon,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Andrew. Yes. Jill,
Yes.
Chad, yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is the approval of a resolution for Midland States Bank, Dietrich Bank, First Mid, and First Financial as authorized depositories, investment managers, dealers, and brokers. The call reports are attached in your packet. There are several of those. Do you all have anything to add to that?
Reached out to several banks, and these are the ones that got back with us with the required documents to become our financial institutions.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that we would use them. It just means that because they've done this part, we have this on the docket or approved by you, so we could potentially do business with them in the future.
Okay.
We have to do this annually with them.
Okay. I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve Midland States Bank, Dietrich Bank, First Mid, and First Financial as a qualified vendor to invest.
Motion?
Motion by Erica,
Second.
second by Andrew. Roll call.
Erica,
Yes.
Andrew. Yes. Jill,
Yes.
Chad, yes. Desha,
Yes.
Brandon.
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is the approval to allow sixth grade boys to participate in the junior high baseball team. I think the numbers for seventh and eighth graders were slightly down this year. We've had information come out in our packets and in superintendent report. Do you have anything to add to
Is
that?
unusual for, seems like baseball's very popular. Why is it down?
I was gonna ask a question that I thought I know the answers.
Not fun?
We need to build from the bottom up. So I would highly encourage us to consider doing this with the stipulation that the sixth graders do not dress on the eighth grade team. I do not feel that a sixth grader should be playing over a seventh or eighth grader. Again, if you do allow that to happen, that would promote discouraging those sixth, seventh, and eighth graders that are currently playing, and there are 14 from my understanding. The piece that we're a little concerned about right this minute, if we don't approve something like this, is if we got down to regional time, and let's say academically there were a couple kids ineligible, anybody gets hurt, now we get to a point that we're at 8 or 9 kids traveling to a baseball game, and I don't think that's fair to those other kids. So we would be in a position that I probably would be reaching out to you to say, we're probably going to take 10 or 12 sixth graders to this contest. As long as we have 9 seventh or eighth graders, those 9 seventh or eighth graders are going to play. If a sixth grader plays over the top of a seventh or eighth grader, I would like permission for you to allow me to bring a potential termination of some people that are in charge back to you. In other words, I need people to understand the importance behind building a program, and building from the bottom level up needs to stay in place. I don't, because a potential team might have sixth graders that could be better than seventh or eighth graders to help win, and winning's important, but right now numbers are important. So that's where I stand behind this. Is it unusual for us to have, for a program and its community of this nature, to have that low numbers? Yes. I am embarrassed. But I think some of those solutions will take care of themselves over the course of the year. And I want to start the process of working underneath that to build that in. And they're at the junior high already, so it's not like we're transporting fifth graders over there. So that's the fortunate part. The bad side to it is, and I've talked to some parents since this has come out, that have some serious concerns that their sixth graders are not ready to compete against an eighth grader at this level. And I agree with that.
Yeah.
The last thing I would want is some kid to be discouraged, and then we have lower numbers in the next 2 years because we did that. So I'm going to be very cautious, and I trust that Vince will oversee this at the highest level for us. He and I have had some conversations about it. But he's the one that reached out. I did put it off till tonight. He wanted to start the next day, which was last Wednesday when he contacted me. When we found out it was low numbers, which is frustrating to me also, because that should have been known long before last Wednesday. But again, it wasn't. And I told them no, that they were not, you want them to show up Thursday at practice. And I said, no, I'm asking the board, and they'll make a movement tonight, one way or the other. If they approve this, then they can show up. You can advertise tonight and tomorrow and go from there. So.
Okay. I think that's good if there's clear expectations
There will be.
on, all parties.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions? I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the sixth grade boys to participate in the junior high baseball program for the 25-26 school year due to low numbers in the current 7th and 8th grade roster.
Motion.
Motion by Chad,
Second.
second by Andrew. Roll call.
Andrew?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Chad, yes. Desha?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Okay,
And we will reassess that next year, but this is just for this year right now, in my opinion, because we've been told there may be 36 graders, which is good, okay, for next year. But I don't need 30 out there trying to figure out, and some of that's going to take care of itself, because here's the other thing. A lot of these kids are heavily involved in JFL, cross country, and we really don't want them to miss out on a cross country meet when they can actually compete in sixth grade and come and be on the B team for baseball. So that's technically what you're doing, is approving sixth graders to be a B team and work with, I believe it's Mason Hall's my B team coach, in preparation for the future.
okay.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the food services fee adjustment for the 25-26 school year.
I'll just address the elephant in the room. I'll take some responsibility. We're not overseeing this maybe at a higher level. When we took this on, this would have been year 3. I wasn't understanding that we were quote unquote bleeding out at the level that we were. I don't know what went wrong or where for sure, but I know we have to cut that off at some point, and unfortunately right now was the time to do it. The fortunate side to it was we were contacted by ISB back in the spring with some concerns about our food service numbers, and they're trying to help find ways to get our costs down, which one of the areas that was emphasized to Ryan and I at that time was there's bigger cooperatives out there. We oversee a cooperative, and we charge people $100 for a school district to be a part of our cooperative to help keep our costs down. But in our cooperative, there's probably, I don't even know for sure, 18 or 20 schools, okay? The state guy was saying, hey, Mount Vernon has one, Peoria has one. There's some different ones throughout the state that have 200 and 300 and 400 schools in them. And so your numbers can come down even more. So I said, come and see us. He said, by the way, you're up for an audit in a year from ISB for food service. Would you like a pre-audit doesn't count for anything? I said, absolutely. So we got them on the books, came down and met with Kelsey, the financial side, and Ryan. But in that time, they also came out of there going, this CEP's beating you to death. And it's hard to understand, but it's basically the reimbursement piece of it, that when we've not got people paying in, we're not getting some money from the local piece. But the way I understood it was from the get-go, we would not lose money of any kind. It would be a wash for us to come in. So I don't know if we got our numbers wrong in the beginning, or if the federal, and again, I don't want to point fingers at anybody, I don't know if the federal government or the state didn't hold up on their end.
Yeah, no,
To be
either,
able-
because other local schools are continuing to finish out their contract.
Correct. But they're not at a deficit of what we are.
Right.
But we also are at a deficit because, again, we think, I don't know if we want to throw the exact number out there, but because at one time we provided free lunches and maybe even breakfasts to some of our staff. That was something that was addressed to me multiple times over the time that I've been here. Reached out to our attorney, and he said because we had a collective bargaining agreement, I wasn't in a position to bargain that, and I couldn't change that at the time. Came into collective bargaining, and we were addressed in one of those sessions already, and I said, I will get this taken care of. And then we flipped and found out, also in that report from him when he did the pre-audit, he said that you have to cease and desist right now providing free lunches for your staff. That's not allowed at the state level. So my guess is in a year, when he comes back in here, had we not stopped that, we would have been written up at that point. And I don't even know what written up means with food service, but I've never been written up. Don't want to be, but that's kind of where all that sets. So when you put all that together, if everything were to work out perfect, and again, I hate it for everybody, because a lot of people that have had free lunches for whatever reasons, many of those were probably warranted. But to be equitable across the board, the only thing I've done right now is I have gone ahead and approved that we allow the cooks to continue to get free food that they cook. And outside of that, there's nobody else in the district that receives free food. I can change that. I can take that away if you want that taken away, but I just felt it was fair to that group of people that they're cooking their own food and they're around it for I don't know how many hours they're in there. It just makes sense that the food's there. So what you see here, unfortunately, we did not raise prices. We didn't raise the prices, and you're supposed to raise them 10 cents every year, actually, is what Isby's telling us. We didn't do that in the spring, so we went back, and I'm asking you to do that tonight. And then they also gave us the numbers, which I was not aware of, that the adult lunches must be 50 cents higher than the student's highest, the highest paid student lunch in the district. It has to be 50 cents higher than that. Same thing with the breakfast. So that's what the proposal is there for, and that's why. I would anticipate if everything, as I was saying a minute ago, if everything went well, we would possibly be in a surplus at the end of this year. But I will also tell you, if we're in a surplus, again, I'll come back to you and we'll try to make adjustments, because I'm not in this to make money on our food service. But we also can't lose $500,000 a year.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I am looking for a motion and a second to approve the food service fees as listed for the 25-26 school year. All milk per half pint will be 40 cents. K through 8 lunches are $3.40. 9 through 12 lunches are $3.65. Adult lunches, $4.15. K through 8 breakfast, $2.90. 9 through 12 breakfast, $3, and adult breakfast, $3.40. Is that right?
Yeah, it should be.
Should that be $3.50? It has to be 50 cents
Yeah,
higher.
you're right, because I had to go back and check. I'm sorry. Yep, $3.50.
Adult breakfast, $3.50. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Desha,
Second.
second by Chad. Roll call?
Jill?
Yes.
Chad, yes. Desha?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew? Yes.
Also means that we'll probably have deficit accounts. We'll be back to that. We didn't really deal with much in the deficit lunch accounts over the last couple of years because it was free. Maybe it'd been some a la carte or something. I don't know how you handled it for sure, but so that'll be another conversation as we get to that point. The free and reduced people will still have the opportunity to be free and reduced. So it's back to that point. So it's kind of just back to the old days, and people that can afford it, I hate to say it that way, but they're expected to pay. And if there's any financial concerns of some sort, they can fill out the direct serve information, which we've provided to everybody. It's a big topic around right now. People aren't very happy about it, but just send them my way and I'll have conversations with them and apologize to them, and we'll go on down the road and do the best we can.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is the adjournment to closed session. The items at closed session will be the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district. Also, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. And the last item is for litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed session. Do I have a motion and a second to enter into closed session? Motion by Andrew,
Second?
second by Erica. Roll call.
Chad, yes. Desha?
Yes.
Brandon? Brandon?
Yes.
Yep. Erica?
Yes.
Andrew? Yes. Jill?
Yes.